The lab was never meant to be explored by ordinary players. Everyone who joined the game, Steal a Brainrot, expected something goofy. Maybe a silly monster, some easy chase scene, a quick laugh. But the moment you stepped through those flickering metal doors and heard them slam shut behind you, you understood the truth. This place was wrong. Too quiet, too cold, too alive. A single warning glowed on the wall. Do not steal the Brainrot. Naturally, that meant you absolutely had to steal it. The corridors stretched endlessly, humming with broken machinery. Pipes dripped thick green fluid that hissed when it touched the floor. Every light above you flickered, as if struggling to stay awake. Somewhere in the distance, something crawled slowly, heavily, its claws scraping concrete like it was sharpening them on purpose. You followed the red arrows sprayed across the walls, arrows left by previous players, maybe, or by something that wanted you to go deeper. At the end of a long hallway, behind a pane of reinforced glass, you saw it. The Brainrot. It wasn't a brain. At least, not anymore. It pulsed like a living heart, wrapped in tendrils. Tubes fed into it from the ceiling, twitching with every breath it took. Its surface glowed neon blue, and its eyes, if they were eyes, opened the moment you stepped closer. It saw you, and it understood what you wanted. Your hands trembled, but you reached forward, disabled the alarms, and released the locks. The chamber hissed open. The Brainrot lifted itself on thin, spindly legs and stared at you like an ancient creature judging your worth. Then it jumped into your arms, surprisingly light, surprisingly warm. The lights instantly went red. You have stolen the Brainrot. Run. The floor shook as the alarm echoed through the entire facility. Doors burst open. Metal claws scraped the ground. The guards weren't human. They were biomechanical horrors with skull-like faces and glowing red sensors that locked onto your every movement. They sprinted after you on spider-like limbs, knocking aside tables, smashing walls, screeching with mechanical hunger. You bolted down a hall, clutching the Brainrot tight. It hummed softly, almost comfortingly, as if it wanted you to survive. Maybe it chose you. Maybe it needed you. Behind you, a monstrous roar shook the lab. The guards froze. Something far worse had awakened. The Overmind. You didn't know its name yet, but you felt its presence slithering into your thoughts. The screens on the walls flickered, showing static, symbols, and then a single message. Return what you stole. You refused. You leapt over a railing and slid into the maintenance tunnels. Steam blasted from broken pipes, nearly knocking you off your feet. Shadows shifted along the walls, shadows that moved even when you stood still. The Brainrot nudged you, guiding you deeper towards something it wanted you to find. A hidden door. A forgotten wing of the facility, sealed years ago. Inside were the old experiments, failed prototypes, broken machines, half-alive creatures trapped in tanks. One tapped the glass with a single claw as you passed, whispering something in a language only nightmares could understand. The Overmind roared again. The ceiling cracked, dust rained down. You ran through the forgotten wing toward a glowing elevator at the end. The Brainrot lifted its tendrils. Touching the scanner, the doors opened instantly, as if it remembered. Inside, instead of buttons, there was only one slot. A round socket shaped exactly like the creature you were holding. The realization hit you. The Brainrot was never meant to be stolen. It was meant to escape. You placed the creature into the socket. It clicked into place, pulsing brighter and brighter, until the entire elevator filled with blue light. The Overmind smashed into the hallway, its massive form covered in wires and screaming metal, reaching for you with a dozen mechanical limbs. The doors slammed shut. The elevator shot downward. The world exploded with light. Then, silence. When you opened your eyes, you were standing in an underground chamber filled with bioluminescent plants, glowing rivers, and ancient machines. The Brainrot floated in the center, larger now, awake, free. It looked at you with gratitude, true gratitude. A message appeared across your screen. You did not steal the Brainrot, you saved it. The chamber trembled as new pathways lit up, revealing deeper secrets, new monsters, and challenges awaiting your next step. The story wasn't over. This was only the beginning, and the Forest Lab hybrid world above would never be the same again. The forest fell silent again, but it wasn't the kind of silence that brings peace. It was heavy, suffocating, like the air itself was waiting for something to happen. I slowly backed away from the spot where the first Brainrot had vanished, trying to recall the map hidden near the start of the game. It had a warning. When one disappears, the others awaken. And those words started coming true faster than I could blink. From somewhere deep in the trees, something metallic scraped against the ground. A flash of light. Then I saw the second Brainrot. This one was much larger. Long arms dragging behind it, red bulbs flickering on its head. It was the scanner variant, the type that doesn't attack right away, but studies the player, memorizing weaknesses. It leaned toward me like it was sniffing. I froze. But suddenly, it jerked its head, as if someone invisible had called it away. From the heart of the forest came a rhythmic thud, thud, thud. Heavy steps, like a giant machine waking up. The bushes shivered, and the trees seemed to bend away, trying to hide me. I understood immediately. The scanner wasn't leaving because I was safe. It was leaving because something stronger, something far more dangerous was coming. The Overseer Brainrot stepped out. It was enormous, towering over everything around it. Hundreds of tiny red eyes glowed on its chest like a swarm of mechanical insects. Its footsteps shook the ground, and the grass beneath its weight turned black, as if burnt away. "Courier detected," it growled, its voice sounding like someone speaking through a broken metal speaker. I turned and ran. The forest changed around me. Trees twisting into narrow corridors, vines curling overhead. It was like the world itself wanted to trap me inside a maze. Branches scraped against me, clutching at my clothes. A blast shot past my head. The Overseer fired an energy pulse. I dove behind a boulder, and the beam melted a tree like it was nothing but wax. I needed a power source. The power source. The only thing strong enough to temporarily shut down an Overseer. The map called it Core Station. Reaching it was almost impossible. But I had no choice. I sprinted toward a bridge covered in rusty metal signs. They trembled in the wind, ringing like warning bells, as if alerting the entire forest that I had arrived. Then another Brainrot appeared. Small, fast, with 3 glowing eyes. The runner variant. It locked onto me instantly. I realized I was no longer being chased by one enemy. A whole army had begun to hunt me. But the deeper I went into the forest, the more clues I found. Torn wires, burned circles, encrypted messages carved into the trees. Someone had been here before me. Someone who tried to steal the original Brainrot. The first one, the ancestor of all others. And judging by the traces, they almost succeeded. I just had to discover one thing. Was that person still alive? And why were the Brainrot still searching for them? The forest grew darker with every step I took, as if the shadows were following me. Even the wind felt wrong, moving in slow, unnatural waves that bent the leaves without making a sound. Somewhere behind me, the runner variant's footsteps tapped rhythmically against the ground, quick and sharp. It wasn't attacking yet. It was stalking me, just like a Brainrot would. I reached a clearing, and for a moment, I thought I was safe. But then I saw it, glowing symbols carved into the ground, forming a circle big enough to stand inside. The signs pulsed with a faint blue light, almost like a heartbeat. At the center lay a metal panel with 3 switches. A puzzle zone. The worst kind. Quiet, isolated, which meant the Brainrots were probably nearby, watching. I stepped into the circle and the symbols flared bright. A distorted voice echoed from within the forest. Initialization accepted. The switches clicked upward, ready to be activated. But the moment I touched the first one, the forest roared. Branches snapped. Something howled. Metal scraped violently, like claws dragging through steel. I flipped the switch anyway. The ground trembled. Then I saw them. 3 small drone-like Brainrots emerging from the bushes. They had spinning blades instead of hands and glowing yellow optics. The slicer units. They whirred loudly, closing in. I lunged for the second switch. But before I could reach it, one of the slicers slashed at the air, slicing off a piece of bark from a tree, like it was paper. I ducked under another swing, rolled across the dirt, and slammed the second switch down. The circle pulsed again. 2 down, 1 left. The drones sped up, their blades spinning faster. The air around them hummed with deadly energy. I sprinted toward the 3rd switch, but one slicer leapt toward me, its metal arms stretched wide. It would have torn me apart if the forest itself hadn't interfered. Suddenly, roots burst out of the ground, slamming into the slicer, pinning it to the dirt. More roots rose, grabbing the other 2 drones and dragging them underground as they screeched. The circle glowed bright white. The forest had helped me? No, it wasn't helping. It was guiding me. I hit the final switch. A deep click echoed through the ground, and the metal panel opened, revealing a hidden passage. A staircase spiraled downward, lit by flickering neon lights. This was not just a puzzle. This was a route the Brainrots didn't want players to find. Core Station was near. I could feel it. I descended the stairs, each step echoing in the hollow tunnel. The deeper I went, the colder the air became. The walls changed from dirt to metal. Old, rusted panels marked with warning signs and scratched out text. Then I heard it. A faint whisper. It was coming from a broken speaker on the wall. Do not steal the prototype. Do not steal the prototype. The voice glitched, looping over itself. Prototype? Not Brainrot. Prototype. The deeper I walked, the clearer it became. The Brainrots weren't just random creatures. They were guarding something. Something powerful enough that someone tried to steal it once and failed. Lights flickered again. A shadow passed ahead of me. Tall, crooked, moving on 4 thin limbs. Not a Brainrot. Something older. I stopped breathing as the shadow paused. Then its head slowly rotated toward me. Its voice creaked out like rusted machinery. You're late.